Welcome back to Tamar Valley Vineyard Diaries, and it's going to be a busy week in the vineyard this week. We need to get into the Madeleine Angevine, we need to do some topping, and we need to do some tucking. We also need to get into the seyval blanc and get those vineyard posts in as well. But before we do any of that, it's into the winery this morning, and we need to do some checks on the wines. My name is Marcus Williams. For the last 30 years I've been working in public aquariums around the world, working with sharks, turtles, and a whole host of other amazing marine creatures, including my incredible wife. But in February 2026, I left it all to focus on the family vineyard, nestled in a picturesque, secluded part of Devon, the Tamar Valley. Follow me as I try to establish a vineyard in one of the most challenging vine-growing regions in the world. I'll show you the lows and the highs as I embrace this new chapter of my life. This is Tamar Valley Vineyard Diaries. We've got a little bit of red wine left over here, a little bit of our red shank that we haven't bottled yet. So just adding a little bit of sulphur in there just to protect it, stop the oxygen oxidizing it. And we're hoping to do some bottling in the next couple of weeks. Not just of the red shank, also of our sparkling wine base, or base wine, sorry, and also the base wine for the Tamar Grow Local Pinot Noir. Just waiting on some special bottles to arrive. I say they're special because these guys are actually made in England, made in the UK, and they're the first sparkling wine bottles to be made in the UK from what I can gather. Now that's important to us because, you know, lower carbon footprint, but also the government kindly introduced a new packaging tax recently, and even though we're too small to technically be affected by it, if any of our suppliers import their bottles, they have to pay customs duty on it, and the packaging tax on it, and then they pass it on to us. So if we can find a supplier of UK based bottles, then we don't need to pay the tax. Whilst I'm whinging about taxes as well, it's worth pointing out that if you're a cider producer or a beer producer, you can get a small producer's relief, whereby you won't pay duty on the first X amount of bottles or litres you produce. There's nothing like that in wine. So with our cider, I don't pay any duty on it because I don't produce enough. But the wine, we have to pay duty on it straight away. And considering that, you know, English wine is a growth sector, you think there'd be a little bit of support for it, but no. hate this thing. I don't even know if I've got it set up right. So a very quick jaunt back up to the village now to drop a case of wine off at the post office and get that sent out. I promised the chap it'd be sent out today, so better get on with it. So today's job, all this growth here, anything above head height, so just over 6 foot, I'm going to chop off. This is all wasted growth. We want the energy to be down here in the berries. As you can tell, hell of a lot of growth now. Literally this has sprung up in the last week. So it's just a case of going up and down using very, very high-tech equipment. And try not to kill ourselves. Might not look the tidiest, that's a good job done. So I've plot one done anyway, and I think I'm going to stop now because I've run out of water. If there's time, I might well put the topper on the tractor and go and attack the orchard, because it's way past due a haircut and it's starting to get a little bit embarrassing when I'm doing the tours. As you can see, it's got a little bit out of hand. We left it for a while because we had some daffodils in here. I wanted to let them die off first, and then quite frankly just had better things to do. felt very much broken after yesterday's escapades doing all the topping on plot 1, but into plot 2 today. It needs to be done. Just push on, get through it. I could probably get this knocked out in another hour or so, and then what I'd really like to do this afternoon is I like to do crop predictions, because things start getting very real. But yeah, I think I might have got RSI yesterday in my arm. Everything aches, but yeah, let's get it done. That's all the topping done now. I want to get these crop predictions done, but we do need to come in and tidy up the vines now and tuck them in, up or down depending on where they are. But that's probably a job for tomorrow, I think. I need to go on a break now. So, crop predictions. What we have in the vineyard is we have 3 panels, and a panel is it's 4 vines between 2 posts. So you can see it's marked here with a red paint. So we always use the same panel every year, and so we are going to come in and we're going to look at each vine and we're going to count how many canes have tied down onto the wires. Usually it's 3, it might be a bit less. We're going to count how many shoots come off each cane. We're then going to count how many bunches are on each shoot. Now if we do that for all 12 vines, obviously 3 panels, 4 vines in each panel, we could then get an average. We know how many vines we've got in the vineyard, so then we can work out roughly how many bunches we're going to have. The next bit's a difficult bit though, because then I need to give a weight to each bunch. Now I've got a perfect average weight, it's about 90 grams, but then if we have rain, that can damage the bunches and stop us having 100% fruit set, so then we need to drop it down a little bit. So I think I'm just going to do the counts, and then as I work my way through the panels, just get an idea for the bunches and how they look, and yeah, if need be, I'll do a lower and upper estimate. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, oh, big gap there, 10, 11, 12, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Right, so I've done the maths, and first of all I wasn't that excited, but I realised I'd been divided by the wrong number. So we're averaging 53.3 bunches per vine. Now if I go with the lowest average bunch weight that we've had so far, which is 2021, which is a really wet year, we should get 3 tons of grapes, which is probably the absolute minimum that I'd like. However, if we go with 79 grams, I think it might mean 75 grams, that we had in 2023, which is a big harvest, we get 5 ton, which would be a record. But if we get 94 grams, which is what we had in 2020, we'd have 6.2 tons. So generally speaking, I'm quite happy with those figures. I'll probably be conservative and go and start planning the winery on 4.5 tons. But as we get closer to the date, what I'll probably end up doing is maybe a few days before harvest, actually pick out some bunches and weigh them properly and start to get a better idea. I'm fairly happy with that, and it's a step in the right direction. Anyway, I'm gonna have some lunch. and then I'm going to pop down. I'm actually going to take the lawnmower around plot 2 because it was quite untidy when I was doing the topping and doing the crop predictions then, and after that I don't know. So it's a noisy morning in the Tamar Valley. Neighbours are cutting the grass. Mum's on the strimmer attacking some brambles. But when she's finished that, plan is to get into plot 4 and start putting in the trellis posts. With the Madeleine Ravine, we've got a little bit of a gap at the moment. We've done the topping of the vines, and yes, they do need tucking in, but that could probably wait a couple of days. So whilst we've got the weather window, let's get these trellis posts in. Although having said that, we're both bloody knackered, so let's see how long we can keep this up for. So yesterday was a little bit short, what with one thing or the other, and today's not going to be much different. The plan is to have a bit of beach time this evening and tomorrow with the family, so yeah, we'll shut up shop a little bit early today. Yesterday was about getting the trellis posts in, or continuing it, and that's what we're going to be doing this morning as well. And then technically we are open today, although no one's booked on for any food or anything like that, but people might still come down for a drink or to buy some bottles, so we'll have to be on site for that this afternoon. It looks like we're in for another heat wave apparently, although today's okay. It looks like we're going to be hit with some high temperatures again next week, which would be fun, so it'd be nice to get as much of this trellising work done before then. Well, I've just had to pop into plot 4 with our seyval blanc quickly because some idiot left a small camera on the trellis posts for the last 2 days, which isn't waterproof, so we'll see if that still works. That could be an expensive mistake, but it looks like we're in for another hot week. The sun just poked up behind the cloud then, and my god, it was intense. So I don't think we're going to get a huge amount done in the vineyard. I suspect it could be early starts, work for a few hours, and get up to the winery where it's cool. Try and get a few of the little jobs that have been hanging around for ages, get them sorted out. So that's another good tour ended. Everyone's very happy, lots of wine bought, and very good for the business. And with the end of the tour, that's the end of another week. So thank you very much for keeping me company. Next week, lots to do still in the vineyard, but really it's going to be dictated by the weather. It's going to be another hot one, and I'd rather not die if I can help it. So please join me next week for the next episode of Tamar Valley Vineyard Diaries, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much and take care.